Hello everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show. Episode 112 for you. We're ready to rock and roll. So it's been It's an interesting week. We had a live show on, I believe, a Thursday night, and another one for you tonight. So you got some back-to-back action here, pretty much. Ready to rock and roll. We got a few things to discuss. Although there hasn't been a whole ton of news, we're just gonna talk anyway. But I got good old Maurice. How you doing, friend?
Good evening.
and the lovely Avinash. How's it going?
Good evening. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you very much. All good greetings.
And from down south, weighing in at... All right. I'm not going to do it. I get amped up every time, but you know what? I feel like the joke is just wearing out at this point. But RangerJ1999, everyone.
Yes, I have come back. Thank you to all my single adoring fans. You mentioned double the action. You usually have to pay triple for that. So I think we could be in trouble tonight.
Yeah,
double the pleasure, double the fun.
Double the pleasure. Drink some booze. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Maurice is clearly not making eye contact with the computer screen for a reason.
He is looking at, what is Maurice? Let's see what he's looking at. Let's see. He's
always doing something. He's always doing something over there. I don't know what it is.
Leave that poor man alone. He is tired. He is exhausted. He is. You know what he's doing? He's over there solving world peace. He's writing it down. And he's not going to tell anybody.
You love how now with this new pack that they have, with these new packs that they have, the ultimate packs or whatever, that they're like, there's actually like an icon on the home screen letting you know they only have a day left to get for the pack. They've never done that with a pack before that I can remember.
Well, some people are up in arms about that. Like, how can you put that on the side, but you can't do yada yada and this and that? And like, shut up, man. Seriously, it's like, God, that's easy. Some of the other stuff, and I'm a hard ass on them about it. I kind of get it takes a little bit longer, so stop it. Just stop it.
One thing I will say about these packs, though, just to kind of take a look at it here from a glance. Well, this one's $3.99, so I mean, they are totally like experimenting with these packs. These are just like, let's see what they will buy, right? I mean,
that's how they get you hooked. Right?
Right.
The first one's cheap for free, and then when you've got the itch and you're hurting, you're like, Revon, I need that $8.99 pack again, man. Come on, I'm hurting. You gotta help me. You gotta help me.
I guess I just have to buy this $30 one now.
Yeah. Well, I got the one of the $3.99 just before we started live here, and it glitched. So so it shows that I purchased it, and yet it did not give me my goodies.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Avinash, I'm going to file a habeas corpus. We'll put the system on trial.
It's honestly worth it just for the energy, the ship energy. And the canteen energy.
It's always good to have just like it gives you like a couple of stun cuffs and like 5 or something, and the energy too. Yeah, it's just really a nice little deal for the whole thing.
But the first pack, right, like gave you like a nice amount of crystals too. I think it was like 500 crystals or something, right? The first time they did it. It was like $7.99, and you got crystals, you got everything. And now they're clearly trying to find a way to just pull the crystals out. You'll notice in this pack here, there's 0 crystals. They're just giving you 3 Droideka shards and saying, here, take this instead of crystals. It's like the last one was, I think they gave you 150 crystals. Like they were just slowly trying to take the crystals out of the pack. And hopefully nobody notices, right? Like just, all this other cool stuff. Slow down. Like now there's 0 crystals. So, I mean, this is only $3.99 though. So, I mean, this is the cheapest I've ever seen. This is actually the cheapest pack that's ever been in the game that I can think of, other than the Count Dooku starter pack. Right?
Yeah, this is a cheap one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really upset that it glitched, and I thought, okay, well, maybe the transaction didn't go through, so I clicked on the little sidebar thingy, and it says, yeah, it says you purchased it, but we haven't given you your stuff yet. And
worry,
it kind of
Avinash.
said that on the screen, so
Don't
I'm
worry,
like,
Avinash.
oh man.
I'll handle it. Lives will be lost over this matter. I will make sure of it.
Will you give me a hug?
No, I'll hug somebody. It ain't gonna be you. Someone's going down. Just get the old knuckles crack here.
Well, I'm glad it just happened at 1 because I'm not doing it on the other 7 until.
No, that kind of makes it hard to do. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not falling for this old tailpipe and banana, the old tailpipe routine. Yeah.
And why won't they let you buy more than one? I mean, is this such a hot deal that you may abuse it? I mean, like, why can't I buy 6 of these?
For a fact they would.
Oh, I would definitely abuse the hell out of this deal. I would if they sold the $7.99 packs over and over again, I would just keep refilling.
How good Maurice would still be buying the pack at this moment. That's why he's always leaning down. He's always like, I need another $3.99.
This doesn't count as a refresh. I just keep buying the stuff for the cantina and the ship energy, man. I just stack up and just keep loading up. Get my Shakti, you know. How are you guys doing with Shakti, by the way? I know some of you guys are whales, so you know, fuck you. Oh, ooh.
Oh,
hey, we dropping that bomb tonight. Hey, oh, bada bing, bada boom. Hey, what's on to you, buddy? Hey.
I wish I had a bleep button for that one, but unfortunately, we can't go back in time. So for those of you out there that are under the age of 18, I'm so sorry. And for those of you out there that are over the age of 18, you're welcome. Yeah. No, but
I just remember when I dropped an F-bomb, I was like, Ranger, we're trying to keep this very clean. I'm like, I'm sorry. Not anymore. Game on. Game on.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where it would be cool if you could just kind of continue to buy that energy. But I don't know. I mean, I personally, I kind of the problem with it is like when you get like an insane amount of ship energy, I kind of run out of places. Like I'm only going to refresh that node to like maybe 100 crystals, right? I'm not going to go over that, right? So like then there's still sometimes I still have sometimes like an extra 200 energy, and I'm like, all right, I guess I can farm like, you know, maybe a little bit of Anakin's ship, and a little bit of like a couple other things like the Sith fighter, things like that I don't have done yet. But I mean, I guess the ship energy is probably the best place to have extra energy, but because I mean, there's so many things in there to farm that are so hard to farm. But
yeah, some of that gear.
But I mean, and I'm glad that they lowered the refresh costs, right? So it's only 25 for the first refresh. I think it's 50 for the second refresh, and then it goes to 100, right? So not bad. It's the same as hard nodes, which was not the case before. You know, it used to be 50 right off the bat, and then 100, or maybe 50 twice. I'm not sure. I forget.
If you guys, if you really are truly free to play, do not pop your free to play cherry on this pack. It's kind of junk. Like, you know, it's like, yes, it's cheap.
This one, I mean, it's $3.99.
It's cheap, but you get cheap. Like,
now the $8.99 one, that one was fully loaded.
Yeah,
holy crap.
This would be good. This would be good for like beginners.
Yeah, this is definitely more valuable because those MK, those little the blue thermal detonators, those green little discs,
those
stuff
matter.
Yeah, that's stuff you do run out of. But I mean, it's kind of like, here, take a little bit of everything that won't get you anything. You know, it's like, here, just take a little bit.
Yeah, I got the black eyeball. That would be 45 more.
You said it so eloquently and pleasantly. It's like, yeah, here's a bunch of stuff that's really not going to get you anything.
Well, I bought this pack right before the stream started, and then I couldn't even take.
What the hell? This pack kind of sucks. I don't like it. I got it anyway.
This pack. Listen, if you're out there, do not buy this pack. I bought this pack right before the stream started.
Oh my God!
I'm trying to express my instant buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Like I tried to level up a mod to purple, it didn't even give me enough mats to do that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, well, it wasn't worth it for me because I'm not. Mine's stuck in cyberspace.
You ever? Yeah.
Oh my god, this food tastes like diarrhea. Can I get some more diarrhea, please?
You ever see the Dave Chappelle episode with Rick James?
Yeah.
You know, where he's like, cocaine's a hell of a drug, and he's like,
I never just did anything just to do it. I'm gonna go watch someone's house and grind my feet and boots on their couch. Come on, what do you think I am? Yeah, I remember grinding my boots.
yeah. I remember rubbing my boots all over the couch. Literally just contradicts what he just said a second ago. That's pretty much good on Maurice tonight.
I was trying to put in the words my room.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Stick us to the ideas. You want to talk about my old boy, good old Maurice?
All right.
Let's
Back on, you were asking about Shakti.
Right. So, where are you guys at with Shakti?
Gear 9, still farming Kairos. I got the other 4 to take her, but I've got pretty much one done. I got to get the second one done, but it's like I'm almost tempted just to spend 2,800 crystals. I'm like, oh my god, this is stupid. I can't take it.
Yeah, I mean, my Shakti is like nowhere near ready. I mean, it's like a joke actually.
The shards are just so
awful.
bad for everybody. It's like one of the worst farms in anything that we've ever done. What I did was every time like a 4 shard or an 8 shard would show up in the store, then I would grab that with my arena stars. But even that was difficult because that rarely showed up. It would be days, and I wouldn't even rush.
I was specifically especially once I got her to 6 stars, because I was doing refreshes on the energy node.
Right.
Once I got her 6 star, I was fully committed to get her done as soon as possible because I knew 6 to 7 star was going to be a nightmare. So every time I saw those 16 shards, I'm like, nope, give me those. Nope, give me those. Give me those. Give me those. So, yeah. Oh my god. Oh god.
Yeah, I have had mine done for quite a while, but that was just with the help with the store. With that,
I finished mine about 3 months ago, but I feel the grind too, guys. But I did have mine done. Like pretty much right away.
We are in a state of contradictions right now. Yeah, the grind was really hard. I finished her 3 months ago, year 13. But I mean, I remember. Yeah, that was hard.
I've gotten. I've gotten 23 shards. Just to let you know where I'm at. 23.
Well, you better get on it like a blue bonnet, brother.
Yeah, there's really no getting on it though. You know what I mean? Like you can refresh the node and then you can get one more additional shard for every day.
I refresh it every day, twice, and sometimes I get none. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Yeah, especially at that cost. You know, I mean, like it's a rough one. You know,
I think you just have to have the mentality for it because I've always had that mentality in life, but you know, I've just applied it in the game. Once I get locked in on something, I do not get unlocked. Like my goal was like once I decided to clone Shakti and Anakin, I have been doing nothing but clone Shakti and Anakin. And I'm taking Anakin to Relic 7, he's Relic 2 right now. I'm working on Echoes 5s and Rexerol 12. I want to get Shakti as a part of that. You know, we talked about this on the Thursday stream, so I'm locked and loaded. I mean, I just finished Kit Fisto. He's off the board. He's 7 stars, so it's all relics, baby, all the time.
You just got Kit Fisto?
Yeah, to 7 stars. Yeah, I have no more characters to farm out of the canteen, I believe.
How did you just get Kit Fisto?
Well, I had him like 68 out of 100. I had been working on him, but once he wasn't a priority.
Kit Fisto was one of those characters that I had to flush like 1,000 shards into the shard shop when after Chromium.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that for Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto and Cad Bane. I remember I had like so many Cad Bane shards. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, those Chromium packs love to give out the Cad Bane. I remember.
Yeah, oh god.
I bought.
Oh yeah.
I only have besides Watt, I've got Rose, who I haven't worked on. I could work on Tuscan Sean's 57 out of 100. Like Aurora 6 stars, Lobot 6 stars, but I've been getting them out of bronze. Like the only reason I have the shards that I have with them is just bronze impulse, So that's it. So it's basically just relics for a little bit. Then I'm gonna go work on ships. I'm working on an Anakin ship with my my first round of energy, the ship energy, and then I'm going into those Gear 12 plus pieces with my second round just to try to get those up, for the ones I'm short on. So you reach a point of the game, saturation, but my God, this card tech farming is just driving me nuts. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna go nuts for Shakti. I mean, I want to get her, and I like the character and all, but I mean, I'll see. Listen, at the end of the day, if the guild needs Shakti for
Lightside TV,
which we will need her for her Lightside TV, she's definitely going to be a required character in certain zones, without a doubt. So,
yeah.
I mean,
that's why I took Kid Fisto, because he's not geared. I'm not putting any gear on him yet, but for platoons or other things that he might be needed for, I'll wait and see. But I'm not taking any chances to where I'm like, oh no, one day I need Kid Fisto. Oh no.
But for the most part, it's not really like a choice. Like, you're still farming other things, and I literally, the reason I'm not so far with her is because I literally just finished B1 maybe like a few weeks ago. You know what I mean? So it was like.
Yeah.
So B1 got done maybe 3 weeks ago, and then I started farming her right away. But now, like, if they throw another character, I still don't have a 7-star nest because I keep having to jump onto something else. Like, I would finish Nest first, man. Before Shakti?
Yes.
You're not going to need Nest like you're going to need Shakti. I think Shakti is more important.
I can tell, Riemann, are you kidding me, man? She's one of the best characters in the game.
Man, I've got her relic.
Listen,
holy crap, she's nasty.
I know how great Nest is. Okay, I have her Gear 11. I have a Zeta on her. Okay, it's just I don't have her 7-star yet because.
Well, where are you at with her? How many stars? Are you 6-star with her?
No, like 4 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
4 star. Yeah, you want to see my nest? I'll show you my.
Please, I don't know if I want to see this. Oh God,
Nest isn't going to be like physically required for Lightside TV, but she's going to be an MVP. Just because she's one of the very few characters that won't die.
Let's put it this way. Okay, you're kind of like you're one of the officers in my guild, right? So. Would you prefer that I continue to farm Shakti for Lightside TV, or should I go and finish Nest? What does that make? What makes more sense to you? I personally think get Shakti. I mean, Nest, I think will be important, but not required, right? Like, I think that there will probably be rewards that require you to have Shakti.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right about that. Just Nest is such a good character.
But there's only
the best characters in the game.
Oh my God, Riemann, you've got nothing but help on her.
But that.
Oh no.
Well, I don't really use Nest. I mean, obviously, I have a 4-star Nest.
You don't use Nest.
I mean, I have a 4-star Nest. Yeah, why would I use her?
Because we said it at the same time.
She's not ready to be used. I mean, like, she's. She was at first. I mean, like when 4-star Nest was okay, but 4-star Nest is no longer okay.
4-star Nest was okay.
4-star Nest when Nest came out, a 4-star Nest was totally viable.
She's amazing with the Zeta 4-star. She just gets better. You're the best.
There are lots of characters that can defeat Nest now, whereas before she was. Once they kind of nerfed Nest a while ago. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know.
What? There's one character that can solo her. Two, Jedi Revan, because of his mark. You can get away with Death Mark with Imperial Troopers, but you got to time it right, and Malik can solo her. Other than that, she still solos the living snot out of teams. And if you put her on teams like Bounty Hunters or Scoundrels, she is a freaking walking nightmare to try to kill. Like, she will force you to use a team that you don't want to use to kill her. It's like, oh, well, I better use a Nightlight here because I'm going to be in trouble. Just throwing that out there, Rima. You do you. You want to get Shakti? That's cool. I'm just saying, Nest is dynamite, man.
Yeah, loaded with tenacity.
Well, listen. I've had to jump on different farms. So I mean, like at first there was
I understand.
there were the out of there you had to get the characters for Darth Revan, right? Then you had to get the characters. There consistently been things in there like the characters for Jedi Revan were in there. Then the characters for Darth Revan were in there. Then you had to get. We had B1. I know there's a whole bunch that I'm forgetting right now, but let's go to the ship nodes real quick, and I'll just take a look. I remember it's like I've been just basically jumping from one farm to another because there's not, it was so slow. Plus, originally it was like even slower to farm than it is now. What was I getting before? I was farming Zalbar out of here. I was farming Karth out of here.
Scion at some point, but most people start with Scion. Like when we first got those fleet nodes, Traya was still semi-meta, and that's where you got your Scion from. And then we had the Old Republic stuff that was all force farm. And then I was kind of farming Anakin's ship for a while too, which I'm almost at 6-star with Anakin's ship. So, but I also farmed because of the fact that there was a double bonus for the Lando ship and to get the Millennium Falcon. I farmed Lando ship and Lando. You know what I mean? So I got Lando and the ship to 7 stars. So that took a while, and then eventually it became B2. So I mean, I've constantly now I have to farm Shakti. So everything keeps taking me away from farming Nest. Yeah, well, why don't you take some of that capped energy you got and go ahead and hit that Nest or that Shakti node? Just go ahead and pick one.
Let's hit the
Either
Nest.
one is fine.
Let's hit the Nest right there.
Whichever one you want is fine with me.
Just all the energy.
I would probably use just your energy on Nest and then Shakti everything. Get them both.
You can get them both, yeah. You do each one each day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, as soon as that light side TV comes out, it's going to be like, guys, you have 3 weeks to get Shakti done. Nest doesn't matter.
I like how all the officers in our guild all have lisps.
Guys,
I told you about loading turn meter, you bastard.
Guys, it's Shakti or bust. Farm Shakti.
And they're all in there going, we don't talk like that, man. What the hell's wrong with that fool? What's wrong with Ramon? Has he been hitting the crack pipe again? I don't understand.
Ramon,
what if they all were all English? Like, I didn't understand why Ramon is talking about this way. We don't have a list. What a pretty fellow.
Ramon, are you farming? Are you farming Nest? What are you nuts? We gotta farm Shakti. Stop it right now. But all right, I'll farm my Nest, no problem. Okay, I just listen. I'm. I always felt like my Nest.
Just pick one to farm.
I'll give you my reasoning behind it. But I always felt like Nest was more of a personal thing, like something that benefits my roster personally. But it seems like the guild things have always come up first. So I've been farming guild-related stuff. But I understand that there's value to having Nest for TW and things like that. For
one
sure.
works.
I mean,
just pick one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you want to farm Shakti for the guild, that's cool. If you want to do Nest, it's cool. But just pick one and then just stay hyper focused on there. If you're going to do Shakti, then do her 25 every day because you're going to get that with that ship energy. So let's move it along because Remon's up there, or good old Maurice is like yawning and he's about to pass out from all that math he was doing earlier.
You guys, the decisions I make to farm are not bad. Okay, I mean, there are worse ones out there. Okay, I do what I got to do, and I have almost all these characters done. All right, so I'm pretty good. All right, I'm pretty good.
Remon's like, I never just did stuff just to do it. I mean, what do you think? I'm just going to farm Nest because y'all tell me to? Yeah, farm nest.
Yeah, a farm nest. Of course, a farm nest. No problem. What do you think I'm gonna do? A farm nest? Yeah, a farm nest. No problem. Farm nest. All right. Let's talk about this topic. So, obviously, there's been some rumors about General Anakin coming to the game, and this is kind of a speculation talk, and really that's where we got to go because there's no news. So we got to talk about some speculation, and I think it's kind of relevant because I think that if there is a legendary character or some sort of event coming for General Anakin, he's definitely going to have something to do with the light side TV, and we know that that's coming within about 30 to 45 days, right? So do you think it's, first of all, do you guys think it's General Anakin? And how do you think we can even prepare for this? I mean, I don't think we can, right? I mean, it's really just going to be a situation where they're just going to throw it at us, and we don't know what kind of event it could be. He may just be a character that you get from the TV itself, right? I mean, it may not even be an event. It may just be like,
True.
Like a character that you get shards from, like Wat Tambor. I mean, there's going to have to be a character on the light side that you farm like Wat, right? There always is. So, I mean, who do you guys think that character will be, and how do you think General Anakin is coming?
I do. I think he might come in, but I don't think he's going to be the legendary everybody thinks he is.
Yeah.
I think the character that we'll get from this one, like Wat, is going to be Kaya Mundi, and I think this has kind of been my thing. With episode 9 coming, we've been hinted at Emperor Palpatine. The new extraordinary legendary we're going to need is going to be Palpatine in the version.
Okay. So you think the legendary is going to be Emperor Palpatine, and I mean, you think he's going to be part of an event? Like, we're going to need characters to get him?
You're going to need the new Rey and the new Xylo, which you'll only be able to get if you have the current Rey, or JTR, and Xylo, and the latest version of Xylo, and that's how you're going to have to try to get him.
Listen, every time these new Rey and Kylo Ren characters come out with the new movies, Rey is always way better than Kylo Ren. I want, for once, Kylo Ren to be better than Rey. Okay? Rey, the new Kylo character should dominate the meta. Okay? And Rey should become the first order of the next meta. Okay, that's the way it should be. It's not going to happen like that, I know. Okay, Rey's going to be a Jedi, and that is just going to make Jedi OP probably. But,
Right.
but I mean, realistically, they need to make it OP Kylo, right? I mean, Kylo, he's going to redeem himself here. He's going to become a hero. Kylo should be awesome. He's a Skywalker.
Crew's pretty good.
Crew's pretty good.
He's not Rey. He's not Rey Jedi training.
No, in a heads up Rey versus Kylo match, yeah, Rey takes the cake every time.
Also,
Right.
Rey Jedi training had a meta. Like, she was the meta in Arena for a while. Like, Kylo has never been meta. Never been the meta in Arena. And that should be the case at least one time. And this is the last movie. This is their last chance.
He will when the Knights of Ren come along with him. So he's gonna have his homies with him.
I mean, I think his existing kit is fine. He needs some better supporting cast, is what it is.
Right.
First Order Officer and First Order TIE Pilot, these characters are super.
They're pretty,
dated.
yeah. I mean, Stormtrooper's really good, and the first, Kylo Ren Mass is really good, but like the other characters, just whether it's Special Forces, First Order Officer, or Executioner's pretty solid too. But,
Executioner's legit, yeah.
Yeah, but they just, when you add them up together, they just don't. They can do well on offense if you control them. You can leave them on defense, but they are easily counted by a few teams.
At this point, yeah.
Well, he's gonna be Crystal Mass Kylo, or something like that. It's gonna be like, the whole thing is like the Crystal Mask, right? So we'll see. But I mean, either that or he'll be like redeemed Kylo, or like Kylo Reborn or something like that. Because I think Kylo's going to end up becoming I think Kylo's going to sacrifice himself at the end of this next movie. That's what I think.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be shirtless Kylo, like a lot of the women and the skewers have been asking for.
Nobody asks for shirtless Kylo.
Oh, yes, they do all the time.
No.
Yeah, they do. Trust me.
Okay,
It's-
just taking the opinion of a woman in the chat. The only woman
I
in the
will
chat,
never.
by the way.
Yeah, I will never ask for that.
Do you like shirtless Kylo?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
I laughed hysterically in the theater, and everybody told me to shut up because I was laughing so hard. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh God, sorry.
Oh Jesus!
It's begun.
Yes, open it up tonight. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Tonight is the night, guys. Tonight is the night. Those of
Wait a
you
minute.
tuning in tonight, I mean, wow.
Everyone but Rangers cussing. What is going on here?
This is like
The
extreme.
Bizarro world? What the hell is going on?
I apologize.
You know, listen. If we're gonna screw up, we might as well do
So
it on the
let
same.
me-
We
so
might as
let
well
me
do it
think.
on the same stream. You know what I mean? Like, you know, let's get it all
let's
out.
see. Remon's upset about Wells and cusses, and Avinash shirtless Kyle gets an F-bomb. All right, we're learning these things.
It's okay. So yeah, basically, I think that Kylo should be good for once, and Rey should be the secondary character. Although, you know, everything would indicate that that's not going to be the case because, I mean, let's be real. You know, a Jedi version of Rey is probably going to, unless they make another faction like they did with the Sith Empire, you know, where it's like Rey is like Resistance Jedi, you know, or something ridiculous, then she's going to synergize with the rest of the Jedi. And that's going to make, you know, probably Jedi Revan better. Or, you know, maybe Jedi Revan will become like a secondary character on a Rey team, you know? I mean, I don't know. I can think of a lot of different things that could be cool. I mean, but they're going to make Rey OP, you know, so.
We'll see.
I can see them going back and tweaking
Twerking!
tweaking like
Hey, put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Jedi Ray.
Oh, now I've got that flashing in my head, twerking.
Listen, Rey twerking would not be such a bad thing, all right?
No.
Twerking Rey, the next legendary. Just on the character screen, you know, just sitting there.
Good old racist Jar Jar. I give up.
Yeah, I forget what I was going to say.
On the character screen, just sitting there like, you know, like.
So we were doing the twerking thing. Good old Maurice. Continue your thought. I think you meant tweaking.
So you think they could tweak Rey?
Huh? Oh, I don't even remember what I was. Oh, no.
Or tweak Kylo Ren?
No, I'm just envisioning just the twerking Rey sitting around on the screen. I don't know. Rose Tico and Holdo, they'll get. I think they'll get a tweak, get one of those touch-ups. Just because for newer characters, they were kind of underwhelming, right? Like I don't know, they're okay, but they're not great. Like these are marquee characters that are semi-recent. We'll go back and rework them and maybe give us a couple more first-order characters.
Sure.
The Knights, the Praetorian Guards.
I'd love to see the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
With the new version of Kylo Ren. Just like you can
Oh,
make
yeah.
that action. And I'd love to see that be meta.
They
You know,
should-
my voice Revan, but yeah, I'm time for change.
There's so much good opportunity for some of these factions and characters and team compositions, and they're just not doing it.
They should not tweak Rose Tico. No.
No. Who said
They should not tweak Rose Tico. I do not
That's
want to have
awful.
any reason to have to level up Rose Tico at all. Please just leave her as insignificant.
Please God, no.
She's not even going to be a factor in the next movie. You know that.
Please, Jesus, God, no.
Abrams is gonna erase the Rose Tico saga. I promise you. She'll be there. She'll be like a background character, but she will not be like Finn's love interest in this next movie. I don't think. I don't think so.
All right, I think we can kill this to death.
All right, well, the real conversation that we're having is like, what do you think the next legendary is going to be? So if it's not going to be Anakin, then do you think it'll be Rey?
No, I think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be.
You don't think Rey's going to be a legendary?
It's got to be somebody.
She'll be along her hero's journey. How dare you?
Right, a hero.
Yeah.
Well, I consider a hero's journey a legendary. That's
No, that's not the same thing. Get out of here.
That is definitely like the same thing. I mean, like,
No, why did they not call it the same thing? It's like saying
okay, it's not a legendary event. Okay, let's not call it a legendary. It's not a legendary event. Okay,
That's what you just said.
But to me, okay, the way let's break down what a legendary is in my eyes.
Use your big words, clown.
And even the raid characters like Han and any of the characters that drop at 5 stars, I consider to be a legendary character. Any of the characters that drop at 5 stars. So if you have to, get them at 5 stars, but then again, wasn't Hermit Yoda a 5-star drop?
Hermit Yoda, he's in the story, you psychopath.
Right, but does he unlock?
No.
Does he unlock?
You mean Grandmaster Yoda?
No, I mean, does Hermit Yoda unlock at 5 stars? Or
Yeah,
is it 4?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were saying.
Yeah.
And all the raid characters, all like the Treyas, GKs, they all unlock at 5 stars.
Right.
Solo.
Right.
Those are legendary.
Right, so I consider those to be legendary. So what I'm saying by legendary, I mean like a Hero's Journey character I consider to be even like above a legendary. Like he's like a Hero's Journey character is a 7-star unlock, right? So it's like, Rey is going to be a meta changer. All the Hero's Journey characters are meta changers. They never aren't. Like there's never been a Hero's Journey character that just was just a, let's just insert this character. We can, there's never been a Hero's Journey character that doesn't instantly become the #1 character in Arena. You know what I'm saying?
No, where they could mess that up.
I think that if they did mess it up, I think that they would right away fix the character so that they were the #1 character in Arena.
Yeah, just give him a Malik treatment. Like, let's just go ahead and let's just nip this Palpatine thing right in the bud. Just go ahead. Yeah. No more Palpatine, guys.
Anytime there's a Hero's Journey character, they're going to go out of their way to make sure that this character is all over the arena. So I'm saying I think that Rey will be that character. But I mean, maybe the end chase will be like you said to get Palpatine. But so I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're probably right. I do think that they're going to have a legendary character or Hero's Journey character or something. Probably not Hero's Journey. Like I said, Rey will probably be the next Hero's Journey. But I think they'll have another legendary character drop before December when we get Rey. So it will probably be in November. And I'm just wondering. Like I said, I kind of think that Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to be the character for the Lightside TB, like you said. And I do think that they are going to release either Padawan Anakin or General Anakin or whatever, like another version of Anakin. So, so I mean, I think it could be the next legendary, but I mean, let's say it was. Let's say just for argument's sake, the next legendary character is General Anakin or Padawan Anakin. What would you need to unlock a legendary Anakin? Would it be the clones? What would you need to do that? Like, how could you prepare for that if you were trying to guess or beat the, get ahead of the curve?
Yeah, to get ahead of the curve, save up $2,500.
Save up $2,500. Yeah. Pretty
much. Unless you have, I mean, for a lot of its veterans, I don't think it's going to be that much of a reach for us to try to maybe get him. Because if you, like for me, I've got my clones and I've got my Jedi basically 7-star. There's a few on the Vulcan Guardian stuff that I don't think they're going to be used, but the characters that I think they're going to use, and I think Shakti might be a part of it, they're going to be ready. They're already. I've got Zeta saved and Gear Horde, and I'm working on those characters anyway. So, the cost analysis is going to come to those that either have not worked on these characters, or mid-tier to lower-tier players that want the new character, that don't even have like a lot of these Jedi clones unlocked and things of that nature. That's going to create that panic farm. So, I mean, General Anakin makes sense. I could see it happening. It wouldn't shock me. And it wouldn't shock me to see that the requirement's going to be like, for the Padme event, really hard difficulty to do. You can get them unlocked at 5-star, but to get them to 7 stars, you're going to need all the characters like Gear 12, couple Gear, Relic 13 to go in there and beat that. So it wouldn't shock me at all if they did something like that.
Well, we're missing the 5th 501st, right? So I mean, if the 501st are needed for something, you can't really do it. You can't really put somebody like Mundi as the reward, or because the people are going to need them.
Yeah.
So you got to make this 5th 501st accessible and the best way to do that is with a marquee pack, right? So
yeah, unless they introduce a couple of clones, you know,
Yeah.
I've seen them, and I've always translated the stuff I see in Battlefront 2 to stuff that I see. It always happens. It becomes in Battlefront, and vice versa in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, since they're both owned by EA. You see the characters translate to both sides.
yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if we got an ARC Trooper or a Clone Commando or you know, so things like that where you see some of those characters introduced that you have to farm. So it wouldn't shock me in the slightest to see some marquee and new characters like that come out.
Well, that could totally be the case, but we're kind of running out of time here, right? So we're in October already, November, December. The movie's out already in 2 months. So, you know, they're going to be releasing Lightside TV next month. So you got to figure there's going to be a lot of fanfare around that. So they're not going to be able to just release a legendary event and launch Lightside TV like in the same week. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to do something. And if they were going to release a marquee character that was going to be required for Anakin, that would have to drop like tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, if not, like, last week already. You know what I mean? So...
I don't think you're free.
Because they're not going to... They have to become free to play before they
Remember when they did Chewie, then immediately did Revan after that?
Right.
Yeah.
What about...
So, yeah.
What about if it's not a 501st character? What if it's Shakti?
That just doesn't really make. I mean, I'm not. You guys are the lore experts. That just doesn't really make sense, does it? Like, I don't.
That makes perfect sense. Not for the 501st. I think her synergy that they have makes sense because Shakti was the teacher of the clones. I did a whole lore video on it. But she was never really assigned to one clone battalion. She just was on Camino training the clones. She got involved in other battles afterwards, but I mean, she doesn't really have the tie-in that, like, 501st that you say Anakin or Ahsoka and even Kenobi did, right? So, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to give her a 501st. Makes sense to have her clone tag, absolutely, that she has some clones, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a 501st tag. It could be a clone tag that synergizes, right? With all the bonuses stuff that you know already, which are fine. You could just have a couple clones come in that really make that team stand out. Like you get 2 clone teams out of it or something.
Well, like you mentioned, the veteran players aren't going to have a hard time with this, but the veteran players really didn't have that hard of a time with the bounty hunter, like you know, like the C-3PO and the ones you did the Ewoks. Like we had all these characters.
Yeah.
If we didn't have them all the way up to snuff, they were easily within reach. You know, maybe you might have to buy some gear, but like, you know, this would be the same. These clones would be very easy for us, but for newer players, clones are not easy to get. They're all in the guild store and they're all in like the fleet store. Those are 2 very rare, valuable pieces of currency, especially early game. You know, that guild store currency early game, that's you get so many good characters out of there.
And their gear is no joke.
Yeah, they all take the same stuff. You know, like you basically,
if
you start the clones from scratch, you got to get all of their shards, and then you got to buy a crap ton of those furnaces. You need all the MK6 syringes, and those are hard. The challenge syringes. I mean, all of us on the panel here probably have hundreds of them laying around, but in early mid game, those things are a real hassle to keep up with. They're just as bad as Carbonis. Like all the attackers and stuff take them. So, you know, it would be very, very difficult, very, very expensive adventure for a newer player to get there. So,
yeah, I could see a version of Anakin live with the Kenobi that they add in. So, yeah, it would totally. It wouldn't shock me, but it wouldn't shock me either if they're like, haha, surprise, and then you're like, well, where's the legendary? And then we get something like Palpatine in December or something like. Oh, we got the new movie. You need the new characters. Invest. So either side presents financial, monetary opportunities for capital needs.
We got a donation from Minato Namikaze, and he asked me to read Ray Rock's comment, which is, let's see here. I think the game is trying to tell you to get rid of your 2, 3, and 4 dot mods from this message, Ramonazab. Yeah. That's funny.
I can't wait to. Let's get to the top 5. Speaking of mods.
Yeah, let's do the top 5, yeah. All right, so moving along, we got the glorious meta report. Now, there's actually something to look at here this week, okay? And that is, do we think by looking at this, look at the pie, okay? Revan's stronghold
over the meta is slipping away. Okay, he's now only dominating 75% of the pie. Okay.
Oh no!
He's now only dominating 75%. This is the least. This is the most we've seen in a change in the meta in months and months and months. So Darth Revan is now kind of. So there's a lot more IG-88s and General Grievous teams out there now.
Right, Revan's still the meta. So the reason you're seeing all these IG-88s, for those that do not have the mods to compete, they have Darth Revan. They just don't have the mods to compete with the other Darth Revans and stuff that are out there. And IG-88 and the droid, the nuclear meltdown team with Grievous, it's just an easier team to run on offense. It just is. You only have to relic one character, and the modding's a lot easier to deal with than say trying to do Darth Revan. So I think that makes total sense that you're seeing that. 1,000% you see that, and you're starting to see more clones for people that are like, okay, I'm just tired of using Darth Revan. I got a couple people in my shard doing that, or Padme. They're like, now that they realize that Anakin's a beast. So I don't think it's going to shift much more than this. So it's nice to see a little bit shift, but it's not going to shift that much more.
I'm seeing a little bit of Padme in Arena. I'm seeing a little bit of the IG-88 teams. And there's some people apparently running Shakti out there, too, in Arena. So there's 267 of them at rank 1 this week. So today.
Dynamite.
Yeah. So
it's nasty.
Well, this is the most diverse the meta's been in a while. So, guys, get out there. Put your Revans on the bench. Change it up. Things are happening. Okay?
When you look at these, and it's basically you either have a good, well-modded Darth Revan team, or you have a Relic 7 Anakin, or a Relic 7 Grievous. Just those two characters at Relic 7 just destroy everything. It's just how good are your mods and what complementary pieces do you have? Basically, the Shakti team is great. But it is a little more mod intensive, and then Ranger, the 88 team is not very mod intensive. So a lot depends on what your mods are. HK is the same thing as 88. Essentially, you can almost combine those two in terms of mods and the ease of the mods.
There's also
Shakti and Padme are a little more difficult to mod and have running right.
There's also no team at rank 10 that has 4 members anymore. So there's 19 Darth Treyas at rank 10. Darth Treya holding on strong on the meta report as the number 10 leader in Arena.
Well, this is good though. A month ago we had the 8, 9, 10 spot on our pie chart here consisted of 3, 2, and 1 leader, one person used. It's just so this is good. So this is nice to see.
I think it's trending in the right direction, which is good. So
Science.
We'll see. All right, but that's our top 10 leaders at rank 1. Moving along to the top 10 squad members, Maurice did foretell the future, and Jedi Knight Anakin makes the top 10 squad members at rank 1.
Makes sense.
People are getting Relic 7, and they're like, oh, he can just AoE anything. It's just pretty much.
Pretty much just like you said, the number 9 and number 10 are Jedi Knight Anakin and General Grievous.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, other than that, it's still, the Sith Empire at the first 5, 6 spots. And then it's Yoda, Sith Marauder, Brood Alpha, Anakin, and Grievous. So, that kind of shows the mix-up there in the second tier meta. So, with the General Grievous teams and the Jedi teams and the Shakti clone teams, and then some people that just want to throw Brood Alpha in any team because he's awesome, right?
I use him in my arena team.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the top 5. And this week we are doing top 5 relics for the Heroic Sith Raid. So we were kind of discussing this topic on the stream last week. Who do we have here at number 5, Maurice?
Let me pull this up, make sure I got them in order here. Number 5 is Sith Marauder. For those of you guys that do have Darth Revan and Malik, that is much like Jedi Knight Revan and P2. It's pretty much a team you can stick at any phase. It hit auto. It just collects some goodies. Sith Marauder, his special move, the relic will just amp up his damage. You got all the ferocity working in your favor, all the debuffs on the team. That you're not going to get too many debuffs on the opposing team with your Sith Empire, but you will be able to stack tons and tons on your team. So it's very nice. His damage is huge on a special because for raid bosses, it won't minimize their max health pool like it does in normal day-to-day PvP type stuff, but it will ignore armor. So that's even more deep damage from him. You just go in and clock whatever phase of the raid you're hitting. I mean, 6 figures easy. Very, very good damage dealing character. Has a very high health steal too as well. So
yeah,
he's got some sustain. If you do mod him for health, specifically for the raid, he's tough to kill. So very, very good character for your raid.
He was one of the last ones. I very rarely go into the raids at all because I just don't have time and they're too early for me. But in the Sith raid the other day, I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to take my Darth Revan team into the 4th phase with all 3 of the bosses in there and just kind of see what happens. And so I stuck it in there, put it on auto, and I was just kind of watching to see what was going on. And I had my, excuse me, my Marauder. He is R6 at the time, and he hit for 256k.
Wow.
Yeah.
On Nihilus.
You should see what he does in phase 3.
I'm sure I would love. You know what? I'm so tempted to try him now.
You would be flabbergasted.
Yeah. On auto, I did just over 6 million on auto in phase 4.
What phase?
Three of the bosses.
What phase would you guys say is the best phase to use Sith Marauder in?
3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, hands down. Because you get death on Treya and she goes down. Once you just AoE the lightsabers and just go to town. I mean, I'm hitting stupid numbers with that team. I mean, Darth Revan on his basic is hitting like 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And every lifesteal that Malik is doing 100k plus. Marauder goes in there and easily is just tagging her for 100,000 damage. It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he is probably one of the most high damage attackers in the game right now, like alongside Anakin, I would say, in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anakin's his AoE, but Marauder's one of those characters. Like, why I love him on the Sith Empire team so much is because he just like, who do you want me to kill? One shot. He will one shot people. It's stupid.
Well, it's like R7 Malik on the other team. No problem. One shot.
Well, the interesting thing about him is when he first came out, we all thought he was going to be a high damage dealer, and then he was kind of underwhelming at first. At least most people thought anyway.
There was no kind of about it. He sucked. He did not good.
He was bad. He was so squishy. He just didn't hit as hard. He just didn't do what it was that he really needed to do to make that team viable.
And then once he got that Sith Empire tag and they made some tweaks to him, now he's boss.
Yeah.
So, our number 5 relic, our character 2 relic in the Heroic Sith Raid is Sith Marauder. Moving along to our number 4 character to relic in the Heroic Sith Raid, and that is R2-D2. You were right, J Solo. So why is R2-D2 so important in the Heroic Sith Raid?
Unlike Sith Marauder, who's very he's worthless outside of his faction. R2 is a droid that you can put anywhere, like on any team. Ideally, you're going to want to put him on your Rey P1 team, but maybe some of the newer players that are tackling the Rey don't have Rey now because she's kind of a dated character, not like a man get Rey or you're out of the guild type thing. But R2-D2, I know I don't have any relics on my R2-D2, but I did take him to Gear 13. And just from that alone, I saw a pretty significant increase in my P1 scores with Rey. The more relics you put on him, the more health he will get to make your team much, much healthier and will provide more and more damage for your team. Especially if you can find, I'm not sure there really is a resistance character that really thrives on special damage, but R2-D2's special damage increase is pretty significant. So that's something to look for. He's very good on just any team, really. Any light side team provides the cleanse for your team when you crit and all sorts of other goodness. that goes along with it. You know, a lot of the P1 teams are kind of dependent on getting that initial expose on Nihilus. You really want to get that Illuminated Destiny up before Nihilus takes his turn. So, you know, the more damage you're doing to him, the better, I guess. So, very, very good character. Just not for the Sith Raid, just overall. I still think he's just a top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Still in the game, just overall. Just for the utility he provides. Every
Yeah,
light side faction.
Yeah, just outside of the Sith Raid, you can use him JTR, you can Rebels, and he's going to provide insane synergy and usage. I mean, his stealthing ability, his ability to hit, just dumb. He's just a really solid 10.
Tell you what, if you deck him out with offense, like just offense across the board, and put him on that clone team, that Echo AoE does wicked damage, like crazy amounts of damage.
God.
Echo is pretty good with R2D2, so I don't know. I'm pretty excited about R2D2, and just, I don't know.
I mean, he's gonna be a huge factor in the light side TB when that drops. So. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be a huge factor because I mean, like, he's really, you know, he's just a booster to pretty much every faction that's gonna be involved in that TB. So I mean, like, you know, especially Galactic Republic, you know, so there's gonna be Galactic Republic required nodes for sure. I would bet money on that. So you know, they may be character specific, so you may not have to use R2D2, but I'm sure that if there's a slot where you can choose an additional character, you know, he probably will be one of the first that you consider for that kind of a thing. So that is our number 4 character to relic for the Heroic Sith Raid. Moving along to our number 3 character. Who is that, Maurice?
Number 3 is that Grandmaster Yoda, yes? Grandmaster Yoda. Number 3. Coming in at number 3. We all know JTR is, or not JTR, JKR is rock solid. Give me my 6 million on auto in P2. So and the higher you take him up, the more damage you will see out of that team. Like taking Grandmaster Yoda to gear 13, he's got some pretty boo-boo pieces, right? He doesn't get much, but you start putting those relics on, you start seeing that special damage really increase. It's pretty significant. He's a very good character to relic. I would not gear 13 him unless you're going to gear 13 him and then immediately start slapping relics on. Like, it's kind of a 1-2. Like, he's not tremendous at gear 13. He's one of the, in terms of winners and losers, gear 13, I think he's one of the losers, if you will, but the relics really flip that around. Big damage. One of the highest, probably the highest damage, like special damage support unit in the game, whatever archetype that's called. But very good for your P2 runs.
I see that they did not get you with the Grandmaster Yoda leader ability, Zeta. You lucky bastard.
No, at the time, my Jedi have traditionally been very far behind. I'm not cracking them. Just to me personally, they always felt kind of just like a boring faction. Like, they're average. And, you know, they're all semi-tanky. They're all kind of slow. They all hit okay. You know what I mean? Just kind of like just middle of the road. At the time, I didn't even have Yoda. I think my Yoda was like year 11 or something when they redid him. So they totally got me, man. I was like, Grandmaster Yoda, leader's OP? Yes! And I immediately slapped 2 Zetas on him, and then a week later, Jedi Revan comes out. And it's like, oh, no, Bastila. It was Bastila that started, yep.
Her leader became OP, so that's what it was.
Bid Revan came out, so they got all you Jedi lovers twice. Even though Bastila was good, you know, it's still, they stuck it to you twice. So
stuck it to you twice. Yep. When that 4-star Bastila was dominating the arena, that was funny. Yeah. But Grandmaster Yoda, again, also probably going to be an important character. Probably not required in light side TB, but I think he'll be somebody that is going to be an important piece to a Jedi team, which will probably get you through some of those nodes that aren't character-specific nodes. So, in addition, for the Heroic Sith Raid, he's really boss. I mean, there's a lot of videos out there. I think even on T101 has a video about, you know, the Grandmaster Yoda team with Bastila lead and things like that. And I know that that's old, so that's not the case anymore. But there's some videos out there that really show, you know, how much you can benefit from a Grandmaster Yoda relic in the Heroic Sith. So, Moving along to our number 2 character to relic for the heroic Sith raid, we have Han Solo. Now I know that this is a super homer pick for good old Maurice, but Han Solo is awesome no matter what. So let's hear it. Oh,
I mean, it's not really a homer pick. It's just when this raid first came out, it's still, for a lot of guilds, I'm sure it's the creative P3 kind of junk teams. You know, it's called the Chex Mix, and then it kind of evolved to the Bounty and the Beast, and this. I have all these teams coming out that basically just have Han Solo standing alone, and that's basically what you do in P3. You just have Han Solo stand alone, countering, you know, keep the sabers up, so you just counter on Trey and just deal big damage. He gets huge offensive numbers from his relic. You can see here, this one's relic 5. So I mean, this is a very high damage character. I'm trying to look up his 138% increase to his physical damage when you get into relic 7. So that's already one of the highest single target damage units in the game, and you stack on 138% more damage on him. It's very good. Also gets a decent amount of health and stuff. So, you know, with his health steal, he can kind of sustain and survive and really make those standalones, you know, impactful. So, and that's just, I mean, that's an any raid. You know, if you don't use him in P3, you can use him in any phase. He's going to do a lot more damage. So, I think all these characters, for the most part, most of them are attackers. I don't think R2, I guess, is different, but these are the characters that give you all the damage. These are the characters that put the points on the board, get you up in the leadership in the ranking. So
that's what you're going for sure. Yeah. Plus, I mean, Han, you know, with that double shot. I mean, are you using him with 3PO in the raid, or? So you get the expose on the basic.
No, I use 3PO in my raid team, but you definitely could. The exposes don't do quite the amount of damage they did when the raid first came out, but yeah, that is an option for sure. There are tons of ways to use them. You know, I don't think I really even use them anymore, to be honest. I mean, just I throw them in there in P3 and just try to pick up my 2 million with like my old school Chex Mix-ish team, and then I just auto the Sith Empire as my P3. So there's really no. I mean, you're in the guild. There's really not enough time to sit there and tweak and try to fool with all these little P3 cheese teams. Yep. You know, like if you mess up once, you retreat, it's already half over. You're like, well. So I just find it best just to have a couple of P3 teams, just kind of throw them in there quick, take what you get. But
right. That is our number 2 character to relic for the heroic Sith raid. Moving along to our number 1 character to relic for the heroic Sith raid, we have, drumroll please, Asajj Ventress. So pretty much Jay Solo guessed all these characters in the chat earlier, but so yeah, Asajj Ventress number 1, and this is definitely Maurice's favorite pick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Asajj, and I've been holding her off the list just because everyone thinks I'm a homer, but she really is. I mean, all the biggest scores you're seeing, whether it be like a Death Storm type of, or whether you're using the Anakin trick in P3, the P4, I still think they're the best P4 team. Just traditional, no sort of gimmick cheese sort of teams. We've got these relics now, and you can almost solo Nihilus now with your Night Sisters if you have a modded right and really understand the mechanics, and you got your Talia working. So I mean, Asajj, just tremendous character already. I don't think she's one of the better Night Sisters to do probably to gear 13, but they're all good. But she would probably be the 3rd pick, maybe even 4th behind Talzin. But she gets a nice boost to her offense, 100%, 106% physical, and she does utilize special damage with her AoE that you're not going to be using very much in P4 anyway. She gets a nice boost of 126% there. Very big health survivability boost. And, you know, in that P4, you're basically manipulating their turn meter by constantly bringing their health down, then bringing it back up. So she'll have a little bit bigger health pool to play with there. That's pretty tremendous. That's way above average. Almost 25% higher than the average character in terms of just physical survivability. And special, too. I guess Nihilus does special damage. So something to consider. She would probably be... Her and Daka are going to be the prime candidates for raid Night Sisters to take up. Daka probably could have made this list, to be honest. And then, but the PvP side, you might want to lean more towards the Talzin and the Night Sister Spirit. But for tonight's list, talk about the raid. She's number 1.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, I don't think she's really a homer pick. I mean, like, honestly, Asajj is probably still one of the better value characters in the game all around. I mean, maybe she may not be the first to get to Gear 13 or the Relic, but, I mean, she is somebody that, provides value in pretty much every area of the game. There is so many things that she does. I mean, she's great for TW. She's great for Grand Arena. She's great for the raids. She's great for TB. The Night Sisters are such an important faction that, Asajj Ventress also becomes just de facto like one of the most important characters in the game, period.
Well, any character in any raid that we will ever get in this game, any character that has any sort of stacking offensive capabilities is going to be a good choice. There's lots of them in the game. We got one in the honorable mention slot. We got Asajj. You got Young Han. You got Farm Boy Luke. All jokes aside, he is a main component for probably the best P3 team with those rebels. So any sort of stacking offense, stacking crit day, any sort of stacking anything is always going to be good for most PvE content. So.
And that is our number 1 character to relic for the Heroic Sith Raid. Moving along to our honorable mention. Our honorable mention this week is First Order Executioner. Yes.
Yeah, and this is very similar. He's very similar to Sith Marauder. Like when you're talking about First Order Executioner or you're talking about Sith Marauder, these two characters, in terms of just faction-oriented single target damage, these two are right up there near the top in terms of just massive single target damage, and he's right there with it. First Order is not going to make or break your raid teams, but First Order is a faction that you can throw in any phase of the raid, and if you have them well modded, you have them developed, you can pick you up 2-3 million consistently. The First Order now can solo like P2 of the tank raid. Like this is a team never going to be top shelf, but it's going to be consistent. And a lot of times if you're fighting for top 10, top 5, first place, 2-3 million here or there with just a quick hop in, get my 2 million First Executioner, hop out. I mean that could change the outcome of your leaderboard. So it's a very, very good team. And that, we could be potentially getting more First Order units in the future. And so I really do think First Order Executioner will make the final team cut for any new First Order team that we might get. He's just super, super good. Again, stacking. In his case, it's stacking health, but he does generate offense from his health pool. And you put him Gear 13, you can put the relics on, that health pool starts rising up. It's, I guarantee there are some very, very high. I'll look it up real quick before I start talking about but like Relic 7 Executioner, it's not out of the realm possibility to get him over 100,000 health. And then you're going to stack more health on top of that every time. And then you're going to generate 5% offense from his health pool. So it's a lot of little sneaky damage. He's kind of difficult to mod because he's one of those characters you really have to search for very specific things for him. But if you can find those mods, he is dynamite. So
yeah, I mean, what team would you accompany with him in the Heroic Sith Raid?
Well, you're going to want to use what I use. I use him. Basically, my arena or my PvP team. It's just the Kylo's Executioner, First Order Stormtrooper, and then First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. You can probably use Phasma. I know a lot of people have Phasma. She can do the same thing. You just, as long as you have that defense down, you need a element of defense down, which is Phasma or the Special Forces TIE Pilot, and then Executioner, popping them with that big special with defense down. It's big damage. So Phasma might even be better than Special Forces. Mine's just not developed very well, my Phasma. So
I see there's some chatter in the chat here. Yes, these are not my characters. These are Maurice's characters, and that was really this is not Rima. That was really just to save time tonight. Maurice set me up the pictures for the top 5 tonight. So yeah, I mean, this wasn't an attempt to hide
my horrid mods. This was just more of a time factor thing. But yeah, no, Maurice has some boss characters, so that's his Han. But
we currently have 3 players in the game that have their executioners over 100,000 health already, and then dozens others in the 90,000. Oh yeah, so there's Quiet Storm. Yep, there he is. So yep, Stonewall. Stonewall watches the show quite often here. So congratulations, Stonewall. I see you up there with 95,000 health on your executioner. So if you guys are ever curious how to mod certain characters to get the most out of them, all you have to do is go to SWGOH and just choose a character, then just look at the rankings, like the top characters, and you'll just see how people have them modded. This is insane. Some of these people, like Shakti, the fastest Shakti in the game right now is 354.
Wow. Holy crap.
That's insane.
That's actually the fastest character in the game. Ghostface Starkiller. I like that name. He has the fastest character in the game with a 354 Shakti currently. So that's impressive. Way to go.
Hats off to you, Ghostface Starkiller. But that is our top 5 characters to relic for the Heroic Sith Raid. And for those of you that like that kind of thing, please do like and subscribe. It is a great thing to do. It makes you a nice person, and it makes me feel good. But also, as far as that's concerned, we're gonna go into some more gameplay here, and we're gonna start the Q&A segment. So for those of you that have any questions that you've asked in the chat, or have any questions that you would like to ask in the chat, this is typically the time where you can type these questions into the chat. Preferably type the word question ahead of the question you're going to ask, so we can pick it out a little bit easier. And if you have any topics you'd like to discuss, doesn't have to be necessarily in the form of a question. If you just want to ask or talk about something specific that's coming up, or if you're having any concerns with your team that you'd like to discuss, now's the time to type that into the chat, and we'll discuss here before we wrap up the show. But while we do that, I'm going to do an arena battle. Maurice, are you... your camera says that you're not there.
What? Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, my bad. I was blowing my nose. I turned it off, I think. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
All good. All right. So do we have any questions?
Yeah, we got a couple questions. And they both are from Minato Namikaze.
Minato Namikaze.
Why are players worried that the NPCs in the light side territory battle will have massive tenacity like the dark side TB? Light side tunes aren't debuff based. I'm more worried they will mass dispel and buff immunity. So
makes sense.
One of the problems with why the dark side territory battle is so difficult is because you have to bring tenacity down. You just simply can't land debuffs. And that's a good point, though. I guess
I like the thinking. It's logical. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if they do have massive tenacity, which I'm sure they will. I think that's kind of been their trend for quite some time. Just like, well, let's make it difficult by ramping up the tenacity. It's kind of a lame difficulty tactic, but it works. That's I don't know. But there's still light side characters that rely. Anakin, that buff block and heal block he does is pretty crucial in lots of spots. There are some other, like resistance is pretty debuff oriented. Like if you can't land the exposes and you can't land any debuffs through the Ray team, they're kind of bleh, So C-3PO, any team with C-3PO is going to rely on exposes as well. If you can't land those, that's really going to cripple like your CLS or your Padme or whatever team you're using C-3PO on. I don't know. I guess it is easier to prepare. You could just, instead of relying on the debuffs, you can easily build lots of light side teams just based on pure, damage. So we'll see. It's going to be tough. I mean, if you're going to need relics to compete in this, I'm fairly certain the devs kind of alluded to that in their Q&A. They said, "Could you tell us, what we can anticipate for light side TB?" They basically said no. Hint, you'll need relics.
You'll need relics, yeah. I wouldn't doubt that there will be like relic requirements for certain nodes. Like they'll probably say relic 7, like Shakti for like the final node at the bottom. But now bear in mind, it's also going to be harder. So if anything from the past indicates like the way it's going to work in the future, I mean, like just going based off the way they released light side and dark side TB for Hoth, I'm assuming that kind of like how, you know, since when light side came out first, the dark side was a lot harder to achieve the higher tier stars. So I think that the light side GOTB is probably going to be even harder than dark side GOTB is right now. So I think it'll be even more difficult to achieve some of those higher tier goals in light side. And I think that they were kind of maybe surprised with how quickly people were able to climb the ladder in dark side GOTB. Just kind of like always, you know, when they release content, they think that it's going to be too hard for people to beat, and then, you know, people figure it out, and then they're surprised. I think they're going to make this like really hard to achieve. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. Next question.
Next one is from him as well. What if the next epic confrontation is the recreation of the throne room scene in The Last Jedi, and we unlock Snoke?
It could be.
That could be totally the thing. I do think that Snoke will come into the game. I mean, he was already released in like Force Arena, which is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know why he didn't come into this game. I also think that they kind of should release the Praetorian Guards. I mean, those were some cool looking characters to not have in the game. I mean, people love troopers and Royal Guards. So I mean, you figure it would be awesome to add some more First Order faction characters. But again, there's a lot of characters to look at here. So think about this, right? We still need to get Snoke. We still need to get the Praetorian Guards. We still need to get the Knights of Ren. You know, we still need to get these Sith troopers, most likely. There's going to be these red Sith troopers from the game, and who knows what faction tag they're going to have. And then, there's a lot, Hux is not in the game, and Hux is going to be in 3 movies. So, I mean, he's too important of a character to not be in the game at some point. I mean, we have Colonel Stark in the game, so Hux is going to be in there, at some point. So I mean, there's a lot of First Order characters that they have to release, and more ships to come too. So I think that there's going to be a whole dump of like First Order content, probably around when the movie comes out, if not even sooner. They may start to release some of those characters, leading up to the movie a little bit. At least characters that they know about already, like Snoke, Hux, the Praetorian Guards. That may be the first character they release. Maybe the Praetorian Guard will become like a character that they drop in a marquee or, something like that.
Yeah, we're definitely due for some marquees or galactic chases.
Yeah.
So they might have just dumped the galactic chase thing altogether. They haven't even really mentioned that since. So.
They said they were going to do it again, I remember, but they haven't talked. I mean, I've never heard anything about it after that.
Right.
They're probably like, oh, we didn't make enough money off these galactic chases. Let's stop that. They just basically were like, all right, take these 2 ships for free and get out of here. take the Palpatine ship and what was the other galactic chase? What was the other character that you could get?
I think it was the Ebon Hawk, wasn't it?
Ebon Hawk, yep, Ebon Hawk. Take these 2 ships and just take them. That was like that was the closest we're gonna get to like a character that just drops free to play in the game again.
Yeah, just those ships, while they're both good, they're just so insignificant in the current meta.
Yes.
Just like they're great ships. Ebon Hawk's a great ship. Palpatine's ship's great too. It's just Palpatine kind of lacks a supporting cast, and the Ebon Hawk is just kind of does the same thing Cassian did in the middle of a rebel meta. Like, why would you use Ebon Hawk over Cassian's when it's, you already have Cassian's ship with all Omega'd out, decked out, you get all the characters. You don't need 2 of them. So it's
I think the Ebon Hawk, it could still be a nice a nice last reinforcement. I mean, I still think that there's a benefit there. It double taps and that bonus it gives. What's it? Not breach.
I forget the name of the bonus that it gives, but it's pretty awesome. The
chaff.
Yeah, that's right, chaff. Yeah, the chaff is pretty good. So, not bad. I actually, and the only reason I'm defending the Ebon Hawk is because I actually happen to have a boss Ebon Hawk. That's like the one ship that I have that's really good. So, but I mean, yeah, I think it's still a pretty good ship. Although although Cassian's ship is definitely better with the Millennium Falcon for sure.
No, the problem is like now it's both Cassian and the Ebon Hawk. You bring him in out of reserve against these negotiator fleets, and if the clone troopers out there, you just take the taunt off and it comes right back. So it's I don't know. It's I'd love to use that ship because I've got a way overdeveloped T3 now for these nuke teams. And just got double Zeta T3. I'd love to get some use out of that ship. So, but yeah, I don't really see any more questions. Says good with the cargo ships. Yeah, I'll have to try that one time in TW just to kind of test that out. So, yeah. I think that's a wrap. I don't think we have any more questions.
Well, I'm sorry, Dr. Gonzo, that my Ebon Hawk isn't good enough for you, but for me, 60K is good enough, okay? It's not even 60K. What is it? It's 57. It's almost 60K. It's pretty good.
Yeah, for those of you guys without the negotiator, I mean, you see the TIE Silencer there, it's fourth slot. Now, that's a ship you guys might want to start considering investing in. That's very helpful. You go first. There's a lot of ships that go before Anakin. You got like Poe, you got Silencer, you've got the First Order Special Forces. You got some options to kind of get rid of Anakin before they get going. So I'm really looking forward to what some of the ship guys come up with. I wouldn't consider myself super ship savvy, but there's a lot of people working on counters already to the negotiator that don't include the negotiator or the MILF fleet. So it'd be real cool to use some of these leftover ships like the GOs and the Empire ships.
I'm really looking forward to this Malevolence whenever it drops and the Vulture Droid coming free to play. I think the Vulture Droid is awesome. I can't wait till that's free to play.
Yeah, that's a great ship. You got, again, that's just a ship without any sort of supporting cast right now. But I think that ship's going to be very, very important. And Warrior loves that ship. He hypes it up on the Jedi Academy a lot. So he's definitely one of the ship guys. So I like to take his advice quite often in the ship category. He's come up with some really good stuff.
I like the Malevolence's kit too. When we got to try it out, it was pretty awesome. It sucks that they just teased us with that and then didn't give us any kind of idea when this might be like they just let you try it out and they're like, yeah, later, you're never gonna see this again. Like that's crazy. I don't know.
Blaze asked a good question here. What do you guys say is the minimum average? What do you guys think is the minimum guild GP to complete the heroic Sith?
It really is more about the characters that you have than the minimum GP.
Yeah. But
you can have like really low GP, but just like a few of your guys have the right characters, and you can clear it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can have like 4 guys clear that whole raid. A
lot depends on, I guess, P3, right? P3 is the hard one. So if you guys have one guild member that has either that rebel fleet or the rebel team that can solo P3, or the Anakin Night Sister team, any sort of team that can kind of cheese their way through P3, and you can just do that with one team, I bet you guys can beat it 70-80 million. As long as you got the raise and stuff for P1 and possibly P4. The P3 is the problem. You need to, if somebody in your guild's got the really decked out farm boy, or they've got like really, undeveloped Night Sister initiate with really good Night Sisters, you can cheese your way through P3. So there's lots of videos out on that stuff. Who asked that question, Blaze? Yeah, if you message me on Discord, I'll try to shoot you some links to some of those P3 teams. See if you guys have any of those. So yeah, get your trays as soon as you can. Yeah, see right there. Ray Rock says CLS, BB-8, Ezra, C-3PO, and Scarefold Pathfinder for P3. It's kind of an obscure team with Scarefold Pathfinder, but if one person in your guild has it, they can pull it off. you got the hardest part of the raid done. So,
faux show. So, if that's it, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. It's been fun, but we will be back next Sunday with another glorious live show, hopefully with a little bit more news to discuss. We've got the possibility of maybe some more info about these legendary character maybe coming out. I don't know. They've really been light on the news front, but there has been, we have just gotten into the next fiscal quarter for them, so there is likely a road ahead blog coming pretty soon, I would imagine, and this will be the first one that we've gotten since Carrie left, right? So it'll be the new.
Well, there was one other one. It's the one where he basically revealed that they'll do the State of the Galaxies for 2 months, and then a whatever that the big one, a road ahead. They'll do like a road ahead, then a couple months of the State of the Galaxy, and then road ahead again. There was one. It was kind of brief and short, but it was basically just like, hey, I'm Top Hat. This is my jam now. This is what we're doing.
Okay. Well, basically, we got a road ahead blog coming our way, so I'm sure we'll get an information dump, and that'll probably be the one that really reveals a lot of info about what's coming over the next couple months. And it's really, it's really kind of interesting because, like I said, we're coming up to a new movie. We've got a new TB coming up, so there's going to be a lot of info on this next road ahead blog. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we get that over the next few days so we can discuss it on the next stream. I would imagine so. I doubt that they're going to go through this whole week without some more info. So we'll see. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Maybe, if there's something really, really interesting, we'll do another impromptu stream sometime during the week. But otherwise, we'll be back on Sunday again at around 11:30 next week, Eastern time. But in the meantime, you can check out such great channels as Reality Skewed Gamers with RangerJ1999 and Finity. They will be streaming on Wednesday night. What's going on this week for you guys, Ranger, besides the Wednesday night stream?
Well, let's stream every day from 12 to 1. Jedi Academies on Saturday. We did our D&D campaign today. So just a bunch of stuff we're doing. Lots of other stuff. Battlefront Tuesdays and Fridays or Saturdays. And then so we got a lot of stuff going on. Check it out.
And Avi, what's going on with the Boba's podcast? Did you guys upload a new one? Is there another one coming?
We should have it uploaded within the next few days. We just recorded late last night, so.
Okay. Definitely make sure to check out Avi's channel. The Boba's Alliance channel is linked in the description, just like Reality Skewed Gamers. And last but of course not least, good old Maurice and TMoney, are each one half of the Operation Metaverse channel. And that is also linked in the description as well. What do you guys have going on this week, Maurice?
Streaming Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Hopefully we got some news. If we don't, we'll just do what we normally do and, our jam. Maybe we might have a guest on. Maybe we can discuss, we like to have guests on, the fanboys, we call them, or girls, just somebody that's really all in on a certain faction. And maybe like a couple weeks ago, we had a First Order guy on. Which is cool because they released that they are going to have First Order feats. So, kind of give you all the finer details of each faction. So if there's no news, we'll probably do a stream like that.
All right. Well, definitely make sure to check that out. Like I said, they'll be on live on Tuesday night. There's a link in the description for their channel, the Operation Metaverse. I appreciate all you guys coming to hang out. It's really it's a blast. You guys are great in the chat. Keep this live stream really interesting and fun. And, I super enjoy doing it every week. So I'm glad you guys were able to stick around with us tonight. And glad for all you guys that have stuck with me all this time. Really appreciate it. And we will... what's the other thing I wanted to say? We will be looking to try to do another roster review on the live stream soon. So if anybody is interested in, discussing their roster on the live show, reach out to either me or Maurice on Discord, or through any means necessary. If you want to message me on Discord, that's probably the best way. There's a link to the ALLINCEGaming.com if you
aren't linked up in the Alliance server, or if you want to find me on there, that's probably the best way to go. If you don't already have me or if you're not a part of the my Discord, I also have a link to my Discord in the description as well, so you can go there. But if you want to do a roster review on the show, or you just want to be a guest, you're more than welcome to reach out there, and we'll try to have you on either next week or the week after. But again, thanks guys for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. We'll be back for the next one, and may the force be with you all, and we'll see you then. Have a good night, all.